Hello all. Thank you for being here with us. You're watching another episode of Learn from the Greeks. And today we have with us the professor, Ms. Christine Philliou. She's at the History Department at University of California, Berkeley. Hello. Thank you for being here. And please tell us a little bit more about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Christine Philliou. I was born and raised in Boston, outside of Boston, Massachusetts. And I teach in the history department, as you said, at UC Berkeley. I teach Middle East history, I teach Mediterranean history, I teach modern Greek, modern Turkish, and Ottoman history. And I have written 2 books. My first book from 2011 was called Biography of an Empire, Governing Ottomans in an Age of Revolution. And it was about the role of Phanariot Greeks in Ottoman governance in the age of the Greek Revolution. And my second book, which is coming out in just a few weeks, is called Turkey, A Past Against History. And it examines the idea of opposition and dissent within the Ottoman and Turkish elite in the transition from the Ottoman Empire to the Kemalist Republic in the early to mid 20th century.
Oh. Yes. And congratulations on your last book that you're coming. I would like to ask you, how has your Greek, how important is for you your Greek heritage, and how has contributed to your success? And also, what is your current interaction with Greece?
Great questions. Certainly, it's safe to say that my Greek heritage was formative for me in choosing this career, and really this passion that I have for Greek and Mediterranean history. I think it really became important as I was growing up in America as an American with this family from Greece, and hearing stories about Greece and being Greek and the customs we had, and hearing the older relatives in my family speaking Greek and not understanding what that was. What was that world that they were from, and why was I not learning about that in school? It didn't seem to match up. And particularly there were branches of my family that were Asia Minor Greeks and from Istanbul, and it really was confusing to me that how could they be Greek from Turkey, and what did this mean? Nobody's talking about this in America. And so it was that curiosity that brought me to delve into the Ottoman period and the early modern period of Greek history. And of course, now I have lots of interaction with Greece. Strangely, thanks to COVID, I never thought I would say that about anything about COVID, but Zoom has become the norm, and I talk to my colleagues and friends and relatives in Greece all the time, and I'm putting together actually a collaborative project that I'm very excited about, that has to do with documenting the history of Orthodox communities of Istanbul, Constantinople, in the mid-19th to mid-20th centuries. So in putting that together, I'm connecting with lots of institutions, universities, institutes in Greece, and hopefully bringing a lot of different groups together there. And so that's been really thrilling.
Do you have a prominent Greek that you look up to? And how has this figure influenced you, inspired you?
There are lots of, well, let's see. Right now, I actually would say the President of the Republic. There are a lot of Greek women that I actually look up to. And I've always been very inspired by their strength and leadership and just kind of fearlessness, often against all odds and against a lot of adversity. So I would have to say that first and foremost. And then of course, in the past, there were so many artists and poets and figures that like Cavafy and Ritsos. And I mean, there are so many amazing Greeks that made just incredible cultural contributions that I love. But I have to say Greek women.
Yes. Nice. how has COVID affected Berkeley? And do you have any best practices to share? And also, do you observe more interaction with audience from Greece? I mean, taking into account, as you have already said, that everything is online right now. So.
Yes. Right. So COVID has affected all of us so much, of course. Berkeley has taken all of their classes online, like most other universities, for this entire academic year. And I have to say, in terms of best practices, I have been very impressed with how the administration has handled the process of deliberating and deciding on how to manage this crisis, and that they have been very inclusive. They have asked for the thoughts and the opinions of all the different constituencies, the students, the faculty, the staff, everyone. And they have really been very transparent about every decision that they make. And I think that that has been, it's been really a wonderful part of being part of this community, because we don't feel shut out, and we feel like they're making decisions in our best interest and for the health and well-being of everyone. And you know, it's a little strange. I feel like people have started to adapt to teaching online at this point, whereas almost a year ago, when things went online very abruptly, it was crisis mode. But you know, my colleagues have really developed ways to adapt and keep students engaged and kind of convey the knowledge that they have to convey in different ways with these new limitations.
Digitalization, no?
Yeah, yes. And yes, I have, as I said, I'm more connected to Greece than ever now. And I have been, it's just an embarrassment of riches, actually. I attend lectures in Athens on a regular basis now from my living room. And it's just,
that's nice. I mean, you're feeling closer.
Yeah, it's really been great. And they've attended, various friends and colleagues have attended events that I've organized here at Berkeley. And it's really nice with no jet lag.
Yeah, I mean, 10 hours of difference, right?
Yes, exactly.
10 hours ahead. Greece is 10 hours ahead, yeah.
Yes, and luckily the evening for them works, because Greeks, you know, are very active.
I know.
So 9 o'clock in the morning for us, 7 o'clock, even later for them. It's all great.
Okay, so as you know, we celebrate International Greek Language Day on February 9th. So in a couple of weeks from now. And I would like to ask you, how do you and when do you actually learn Greek? Because I've heard that there is an interesting story behind this. You didn't learn Greek in your family during your childhood, as other children born and raised in a family with Greek heritage. Yeah, so there was a trip behind, probably, in Greece.
What? Yes. So I grew up with very minimal Greek. Both of my parents were born in this country, and my father grew up speaking Greek because he grew up in Astoria, Queens, in New York, which was a Greek neighborhood. So he had Greek, but my mother grew up in a very small town in Pennsylvania where there were no other Greeks around. So she did not know Greek. So there was no Greek spoken at home except for literally kitchen Greek, baklava, koulourakia, tsouraki, right? So I knew all the words for food, but nothing else. And then it was in 1989, which I am dating myself now, there was a trip that we found out about through the Greek consulate in Boston. And it was almost free. It was it was a token amount of money, and you just had to get to Athens. And so it was a trip sponsored by, it must have been the Ministry of Culture, and it was during the time that PASOK was in power, and I believe it was Melina Mercouri, who was the Minister of Culture at the time. And she put together these 3-week trips for children of Greek descent in the diaspora. And it was a game changer for me. I was there with other teenagers from Germany and Canada and Australia and France and everywhere. And they took us to the Peloponnesos for a week on a bus tour. They took us to mainland Greece for a week, where amazing time in like Yanina and Metsovo, which I have never gone back to, but I have amazing memories from those places. And a week on the island of Chios, which was just magical. And I made some great friends on that trip, friends that lived in Greece and were Greeks from Greece, not just the diaspora. And that was when I became very motivated to learn Greek because they didn't speak English. And I really wanted to hang out with them and understand what all the discussions they were having at night about politics and everything. And I just was like so motivated. And so I came back and I was a senior in high school and I started taking classes at the Harvard Extension School at night because I grew up near Harvard. And then I studied Greek in college, and then I couldn't stop. Then I moved to Thessaloniki after I finished university. And by that point I was almost fluent. So I really did it on my own, not in the context of church Sunday school. That's what I mean.
About that, yeah.
With a lot of help from people in Greece, but not, so yeah, that's kind of an unusual trajectory. Yeah.
Right now, I mean, many Greeks do speak English though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very different.
I know from my generation on, so we learn English even from school.
Yes, this was an older generation that I was hanging out with at the time. Yeah, and I taught English in Greece actually when I moved there after college, and I lived in Thessaloniki. I was teaching English at the Front de Syria, and so I helped Greeks learn English, and I learned Greek.
Yeah, they do right now. Many foreign languages. English is the first one, and also we're trying to promote Greek language here in the United States, and to Greek students. To bring Greek language abroad as well. So yes, we're doing our best right now.
Excellent, that's great. Happy to help.
Yeah, thank you. So also I've heard that there is an initiative underway to create a modern Greek studies department at the Institute for European Studies at Berkeley. And could you please share with us some more information on that?
Yes. Gladly. We won't be a department. We're hoping it will be a center or a program. And we would love it to be a program that sort of shows off all the interesting issues and things about Greece, about modern Greece and pre-modern, post-classical pre-modern, larger context of the Eastern Mediterranean. So what we'd like to do is set up also, I know this is a funny time to be having this vision, but like also a center for Turkish and Ottoman studies, and to have modern Greek studies exist separately and have all kinds of programming about modern Greece, but in the larger umbrella of this Eastern Mediterranean, so that we can explore all of the different kinds of relationships that there have been in the past and there are in the present between Greece and Turkey. Not just the conflict or the near conflict that we might be experiencing, the tension that we might be experiencing now, but all the different levels and kinds of connections and parallels. And so we're very excited because we think it complements the kinds of modern Greek studies that are done elsewhere in California, and it's hopefully going to bring new kinds of issues and new kinds of conversations to the table. So
it's a very interesting initiative for sure, and I hope it gives fruit, it will be fruitful for you.
Thank you.
And my final question is going to be for 2021, which is the landmark anniversary of 200 years since the Greek Revolution, 1821. So I would like to ask you, is Berkeley planning any projects to commemorate this anniversary?
We are indeed. In fact, that's part of the inaugural activities, I think, of this burgeoning center that we have, that we're building. And I am co-organizing with colleagues at the Tsakopoulos Center for Hellenic Studies at Sacramento State University, and with colleagues at Stanford and at UCLA at the Stavros Niarchos Center for Hellenic Studies. And we are putting together a 4-day extravaganza, the Pan-California celebration of 200 years of Greek statehood of 1821. And that's going to be replete with a very full day-long conference at Berkeley. It's going to be in early November, and Paskalis Kitromilidis, who's a very famous and well-respected scholar from Greece, will be giving the keynote, and we have a number of scholars coming from Greece and all over the US to give papers for that, and it's going to be great. And UCLA is going to have they're going to be having a concert on the same, as part of the same series of events. So we think that California is going to make a big splash in the global celebrations of 1821. We're really looking forward to it.
We hope to. And you're in collaboration with the committee from Greece, the committee.
Yes. They are, I believe that they are also officially endorsing our 4-day celebration as well. So yes, yeah, so we're very excited. Yeah.
So thank you for being here with us and share all these wonderful news and experiences from Greek culture. And hope that I will meet you soon in person after COVID.
Exactly. I hope so too. Thank you so much. This was really
Thank
wonderful.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.